I grew up with a question that never left me. Why did my father leave? My mother rarely spoke about him. Whenever I asked, her lips tightened, and she would change the subject. He had his reasons, was all she ever said. To me, it sounded like an excuse, and as the years passed, I built a picture of him in my mind. An uncaring man who abandoned his family without looking back. School was always the hardest. Father-son events left me feeling like an outsider. I'd sit in the back, watching other kids play catch or laugh with their dads. I told myself it didn't matter, that I was stronger without him. But deep down, I hated him for not being there. As I grew older, that hatred transformed into a quiet ache. I went to college, got a job, and built a life, but the absence of a father was always a shadow. On birthdays, I wondered if he remembered me. On hard days, I wondered if he ever regretted leaving. One evening, while helping my mom clean out the attic, I found a box hidden beneath old blankets. Inside were letters, dozens of them, addressed to me. My hands shook as I opened the first one. Dear Michael, I don't know if your mother will ever give this to you. I just want you to know I think about you every day. I froze. My father had written to me all these years. Letter after letter revealed the same. Birthday wishes, apologies, updates about his life. He had tried to reach me, but Mom had kept them hidden. My heart pounded with confusion and anger. Why hadn't she told me? Why had she let me grow up believing I was unwanted? The last letter was dated only a month ago. It ended with a line that made my chest tighten. If you ever want to meet, I'll be at the park on 5th Street every Sunday at 4 p.m. I'll wait, whether it takes a week, a month, or a year. For hours, I sat on the attic floor, letters scattered around me. My childhood resentment clashed with a new, terrifying thought. What if I had been wrong about him all along? That Sunday, I found myself standing at the edge of the park. My palms were sweaty, my breath unsteady. Across the field, sitting alone on a bench, was a man with graying hair, holding a book in his hands. He looked up, and our eyes met for the first time in 30 years. For a moment, time stood still. I wanted to turn and run, but my feet felt anchored to the ground. He rose slowly from the bench, his eyes locked on mine, and I could see them glisten with unshed tears. Michael. His voice cracked as he said my name, like he had rehearsed it countless times. I nodded, my throat too tight to answer. He took a hesitant step closer, then another. I didn't think you'd come. I wanted to yell at him, to demand answers, but when I saw the way his hands trembled, all I could manage was, why? Why did you leave us? The question hung heavy in the air. He lowered his gaze and sighed. I never wanted to leave you. Your mother and I, we had problems. She didn't want me around, and when I tried, it only made things worse. I thought staying away would give you both peace, but I never stopped loving you. I felt a surge of anger. Peace? Do you know what it's like to grow up thinking your father abandoned you? His eyes filled with tears. Every single day, I imagined what you must think of me. That's why I wrote those letters. It was the only way I knew to keep you in my life. I hoped one day you'd read them. I pulled one of the letters from my pocket, the last one I had read in the attic. I held it up. You really meant it? Waiting for me here every Sunday? He nodded. Rain or shine. For the last 2 years. I didn't care if it took forever. Something inside me cracked. The wall I had built over decades began to crumble. I wanted to cling to my anger, but the sincerity in his eyes left me powerless. For the first time, I saw not the villain of my childhood, but a broken man who had never stopped trying. We sat down on the bench together, silent at first. Then he started telling me stories about how he followed my baseball games from afar, how he sent gifts that never reached me, how he celebrated my milestones in his own quiet way. The more he spoke, the more the bitterness inside me softened into something else, something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. I can't change the past, he said finally, his voice trembling. But if you'll let me, I'd like to be part of your future. I looked at him, truly looked, and realized something. Forgiveness wasn't about erasing the pain. It was about choosing not to let it control me anymore. I don't know if I can forgive you all at once, I admitted. But maybe we can start small. Coffee. Next Sunday? His smile was shaky, but it lit up his whole face. I'd like that, more than anything. As we sat there, watching the sun dip below the horizon, I felt the weight I had carried my entire life begin to lift. The boy who had once hated his father was gone. In his place was a man willing to take a chance. On healing, on connection, on love. And in that moment, I realized, sometimes, family isn't about the past we can't change, but about the future we choose to build together.